and there's already been some great films. There's been some films that aren't that great. We are gonna do not a quick, maybe a rundown, a little bit of a discussion of the top 5 best films of the year so far. This is something I did last year, so kind of like a year anniversary onto that video, I guess. But we'll go back and forth from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. So, do you want to kick us off, Kyle? We on number 5?
Yeah, so number 1 is my favourite all time this year. In the
so
top
far
5.
this year.
So far this year, yeah.
But let's be honest, it'll probably be at the end of the year as well.
Yeah, probably. So, as number 5 goes, anyways, Boy Kills World.
Okay.
I remember seeing this trailer just on a whim. I was just sort of scrolling through social media, just looking at memes, I guess, and I came across this trailer and I thought, oh, this looks fucking entertaining. Obviously with, I've forgotten his name now. One of the Skarsgårds.
Bill.
Bill Skarsgård, yeah. You know, obviously I've seen him in a couple of things before, but this just seemed like a very different kind of, very different from what I'd expect to see him do, if that makes sense. Obviously, you've got the voice work as well in this. The cast is really great. I think this film was, I didn't expect it to be amazing or anything, but it was sort of like how like your Bullet Train was. It was just like a nice action flick surprise kind of thing. That's why I kind of stand with it. Story wise, it's a little bit all over the place, but it's definitely the action is definitely like, I don't know. I just feel like it's so good. I don't know what to really compare it to. It's like if John Wick is the king of gun fu, then this is like the king of. Yeah, it's like a comedy John Wick without the guns really kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously you've got John Benjamin, who's for me, I know him from Bob's Burgers. He's obviously a great voice actor. He's been in loads of different things, but as soon as I heard Bob Burger's voice in this film, and it's like an action, gory kind of flick, got a bit of that Raimi, stuff to it. Obviously, he's one of the producers.
Like I say, I don't want to cut you off, but so we can talk about it at the same time. Boy Kills World is my 5 as well.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with this film.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest issue with Boy Kills World is the tonal shift at the end. And it goes from being this fun, thingy sort of film, laughing and joking all the way through it, gory, to it kind of takes itself a bit too seriously at the end.
Yeah, it kind of goes a bit fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like trauma. Goes into trauma.
Yes.
But I don't know. I feel like it kind of works. I get what you're saying, it's a tonal shift, but it makes sense for what you see in the film.
Yeah.
And why he's kind of like that.
But what this film marketed itself to be, it didn't disappoint on.
Yeah.
I feel like I was laughing the whole way through this.
Yeah.
Right up until the end.
Even the action as well, like the gore, they don't shy away from it.
She's great.
I'm sick of seeing films where it's like it teases it. It's going to be crazy action. It's not going to hide anything, and then you watch the film and it's just they cut away too quick, or it's fucking dark as hell. This film does not do that. It's just and again, the cast is fantastic. Everyone nails what they have, and they're all really entertaining to watch. Now, but that's my number 5.
Kyle, what are the odds that we have got the same list?
Let me check my phone. Potentially, right. I think maybe 1 or 2 might be
shifted.
Might be, yeah.
Right. In fact, I don't know actually. Do you want to do?
You go for your number 4. You go for your 4.
Do you want me to go for my 4, or should we say it at the same time?
Okay.
Okay. So just so we know, we're not.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, on the
Right,
count
on
of
go.
3. On go, yeah?
Yeah. Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Fall
Kingdom of the
Guy.
Planet of the Apes.
Okay. Right. You go first.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I was very excited, but at the same time, I was so worried about this film.
Yes. Yes, you
It's
was.
it's it was honestly like I love the original trilogy of the Planet of the Apes films, the reboot that is. I just thought, how are they gonna do it? Is it gonna is it gonna suck? It didn't, thankfully. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was amazing. The special effects were amazing. It definitely it takes it back a bit, which I don't mind. It takes
Yeah.
it a bit more of a personal story, but I feel like it's building up to something that's going to over. I mean, it's kind of like the original trilogy. Actually, it's quite a small story, if you will, but I feel like it lent itself into a bigger
World.
overarching
Yeah.
world that happens with this. Yeah, I feel like it helps us. This film definitely helps introduce you into. I mean, helps reintroduce you into this world and what's sort of changed, but
Yeah.
it's sort of the same as well. Um, Action was pretty good. Nothing to go crazy about, but definitely the effects were phenomenal. The cast again, phenomenal. They absolutely nailed it. The fact that they were able to sort of like continue this on, and with a whole new director, whole
Yeah.
new cast.
Wes Ball killed it with this.
Yeah,
Had a
yeah,
lot. Just, I can imagine an immense amount of pressure. Because that first trilogy is near perfect. My
yeah.
favourite trilogy of all time, bias, the Captain America trilogy. I would put the Planet of the Apes trilogy just behind it. It's in quality wise, definitely. But no, my number 4, The Fall Guy. I'm a sucker for David Leitch films. I love this man. Obviously, the co-director of the original John Wick, and he went on to do Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train, a film I really loved in 22. This might be one of the best love stories I've ever seen. Ryan Gosling is fantastic in this film. Just a quick spoiler, Kyle. Is Fall Guy in your list anywhere, or? No. Okay. All right. But yeah, Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt killed it in this. And yeah,
I just want to say, it's not because it's the worst film or it's. I think it's a bad film. I just don't think it's as great as these
okay.
as the films in the list.
List, mate. That's all right. Look, the chemistry worked. The stunt work in it, which is what they highlighted, was great. The comedy was great. This was an overall fun film that didn't get what it deserved. This made no money. When it should have made more. It shouldn't have made all the money in the world, but it should have made more. Because it was great. Look.
I was really surprised that it flopped that hard.
Because I remember us as well. Was we in a full theatre for this?
I don't think it was full, but it
It wasn't empty.
It certainly wasn't empty.
No,
it certainly wasn't empty, yeah.
So, yeah. Look, this is my number 4. It's a fun, sort of different film that maybe if... I don't know if Ryan Gosling wanted this, I might have not seen it. If David Leitch wasn't attached to direct, I might have not seen it. I'm glad I did. Aaron Taylor-Johnson in this, fantastic. As that douchebag actor. Winston Duke as well. He's great. I really enjoyed this film, and I'm actually glad.
Where would you place it on your David Leitch?
On my Leitch list.
Yeah. Well, all right. What would you place it behind? I'll say that. I'll place it ahead.
On my Leitch list, I've got to go with his best film to me. I've got to go Deadpool 2. Because
it's Deadpool.
It's Deadpool, and me, if you are like me, I think the second Deadpool is just as good as the first one. And now, look, that's probably more down to Ryan Reynolds than it is David Leitch, but still, he directed it, so he gets some of the credit for that. And then, obviously, because he co-directed the original John Wick, I'd probably go John Wick. Why am I doing a list within a list? A top 5 list within a top 5 list? That's like 10 walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, right.
Fuck you, we'll do that another time.
We'll
Fall
do that
Guy.
another time. But
Great film.
Right, Bullet Train or Fall Guy, which one would you
Bullet
pick?
Train.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know.
But Bullet Train was my favourite film of 22, so...
Yeah.
Right. Kyle, what is your number 3?
My number 3. Again, I knew about this film. It sort of drops and it was
Are we
a bit
saying
of a
it at the same
surprise.
time again so people don't think... No, we're not, because I know mine
no,
will
we'll-
not be... I
yeah.
know mine now will not be the same as yours.
Yeah. It's got to be Civil War.
Okay.
This film, I mean, it's not, the story is a bit harder to sort of get into just because with things and politics and stuff, I don't really know or understand it.
Careful
but it's sort
what
of,
you say right now. Especially
will.
with this film, because people's ears are going to be sharp.
yeah. But I think for me, it was just the whole, like, the scary reality of it. Like, this could happen. Realistically, this could
even
happen.
more so now.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But for me as well, like, Kristen Dunst, I've not seen her in... God, what was the last thing I saw her in? It was a long time ago.
Spider-Man.
It wasn't Spider-Man, surprisingly.
Alright.
But, sorry, my nose is a bit cloggy. But just the sound design and just the suspense and the tension in these scenes. And, I kind of like the soundtrack. I think the film has a couple of pacing issues, if you will.
Yeah.
But when it gets to those hard, impacting moments, that's where it's sort of like, it's got like a beating heart. Like the sound... I know we walked out of the cinema and we said, like, our IMAX screen at our local cinema doesn't have the best sound. Don't get me wrong, it's still good.
Yeah.
But this just, like, flexed the muscles of this sound system in our IMAX
Now,
and really showed what it can do.
I'll speak about Civil War with you because I do love this film. It was so close to making it into my list. It's not in there. Now, look. This film's going to be controversial to talk about right now, but one thing I do want to say is the way this film was shot.
Yeah.
Just jumping on yours for a minute, so I can speak about it for a bit. The way this film was shot, it's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. This isn't actually a film I would have recommended to people, but someone who I work with who has said, I don't think it's the film you think it is, and I don't think you will like it, watched it, and they really liked it. So, maybe
it's not like an crazy action flick. Yeah, it's got a little bit of action in it, but it's not. That's not the point of it. It's sort of like, it's the reality of it and how sort of, it's got that crazy suspense. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Put it that way. It's hard to.
It is great.
It's hard to see it because it looks so real, kind of thing.
Just missed off my list, but it is great. But anyway, should we talk about my number 3?
No.
Right, that'll do us for today, guys. No. My number 3 is A Quiet Place, Day 1. And I'm guessing, Kyle, that is your number 2.
Wait and see, won't we?
All right. A Quiet Place, Day 1. Now, look, there's some things in this film that I can connect to quite a lot. Obviously, having owned a cat in the past. Look, I love just Day 1 scenarios in general. Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, when they did that first season and it was how the outbreak happened, that was pretty good. I really enjoy stuff like that. I'm not one for, let's leave the mystery of it. I want to see what happened. Maybe that's because I'm stupid. Same with Game of Thrones. I want to see Aegon's conquest. I want to see that stuff. So to see a story like this, which didn't end up being the story I thought it was. It's been out for a while now, we could talk about it. When this story turns into someone trying to give someone the best day of their life at the end of their life, it's beautiful. It is a beautiful story. And I was quite moved by it. And the ending shot in this is fantastic. I don't want to say too much about it, but look, acting all round is great. Joseph Quinn is going to have a big year by the looks of it. He's in Gladiator at the end of the year. He's shooting Fantastic Four this year. He'll be in Fantastic Four next year. Lupita Nyong'o is great in this. And then there's little Easter eggs. You know, there's a nice little connection at the end, and it's like, so you kind of know what happens to this character, and it's like, all right, that's pretty cool. And yeah, the ending, goosebumps when I think about it. But anyway, Kyle, come on, let's get to your number 2. What is it?
So this was a tough cookie.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Did you? Did you? No, you didn't. Wow, he did it. Oh my God, he did it. He actually did it. Oh, he's done what he's fucking done what I thought which I didn't think he's done. He's done what he's thought
I think I'm doing it, yeah.
Oh.
So far, at least in my list, my number 2 spot out of the 5 list, my number 2 film of the year so far, if you will, Dune Part 2.
Oh!
Yeah.
He did it!
It's looking for a keyboard. Yeah. Now,
what?
This was hard. For fuck's sake. Yeah. This was an easy choice, and you know, that being said,
mate, look at all
it
dust
wasn't
that just
easy
flew
to
out of that keyboard.
Yeah, that was not right. I'll start again. Dune Part 2. It's my number 2. The reason being, just obviously number 1. I'll talk about that afterwards. But for Dune 2, it was my number 1 film up until my number 1 pick, which we'll get onto. Dune Part 2 is obviously a masterpiece. It's a phenomenal watch. We saw it a good few times in the cinema, me and Callum.
3, was it?
Yeah. I just think, for me, Dune Part 1 and Part 2, if you put them together, then okay, it's at my number 1 spot.
Right. But just
That's
going
where I'll
by
stand
what
with it.
came out on this year. Okay, right. I'll forgive you a little bit for that.
Yeah. Obviously, I can imagine that if you're watching this video, you know probably how great Dune Part 2 is. Go see this film if you haven't seen it. If you love sci-fi, if you love spectacular visuals, you know, go see this film.
See it on the biggest screen you possibly can now, which will be hard now, but it's...
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just buy a big TV and do it that way.
Big TVs are pointless.
But yeah, no, Dune Part 2, obviously, it was phenomenal. It was a great sort of like, it felt like it kind of thrusted us right in. It didn't do that thing of like slowing it down because it's like technically a sequel. It just felt like a Part 2.
It felt like the second part of the first film.
Yeah.
It literally just felt like, all right, now we're at the midway point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. That is, Kyle, I commend you for your bravery for your number 2. My number 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Look, I am quite upset we didn't go back and watch this again.
I am too.
And now, thinking about it, and I think a lot of films came out around May, if I remember correctly. I know we had Fall Guy, this. I think it was quite busy, actually. Look, I'm going to echo a lot of the stuff you said. Visual effects in this are great. The guy who plays Noah, wow, fantastic. And I like what it's doing, setting up this bigger world that we've got now. Look, the Freya Allen who does she play? What is it? Why am I saying May? Is it? No. Whoever Freya Allen plays, she does a great job, and she actually stands out in this cast.
Yeah, I think that was one of our worries. Is like, oh, okay, this is just going to be like the typical,
Is it going to be the repeat
you know.
of the Nova? It's going to be the repeat of the Nova we got
Yeah, I
in
think.
War.
But that being said, obviously try not to do the spoilers. I think up until the end of the film, that feeling didn't really go away. Up until the end of the film, I was like, oh my god. Looking back now
Yes.
at the character in the
Yeah.
film,
All the non-verbal
May.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it just it has a lot of impact, and obviously Kevin Durand as
Yes.
Proximus Caesar. Wow.
Proximus
Uh,
Caesar. Yes.
Again, don't want to spoil it, but I want more of him. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
Yeah,
What a wonderful day!
yeah. Just even in the trailers when we was actually before the film even came out, I remember just seeing like Proximus and just the little bits you get of him in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the one gripe I'd say is we didn't get enough of Proximus in the film.
Punt human is wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Wow. Okay. So we're going into a bit of a something I didn't think we were going to be doing.
Yeah,
Kyle.
sorry.
No, that's fine, mate. Your list is your list. And if you want your list to be wrong, that's fine. What is your number one film of the year?
You motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
So again, this was very difficult to choose between this and Doom Part 2. I give the number one spot another thing. I give the reason for it being my number one spot is I was not looking forward to this film at all. My number one pick.
You don't. All right, I was gonna thought you was gonna say Madam Web. Then I was like, you fucking.
I was gonna say that, but
so 45 minutes of it. I can only
Yeah.
imagine what the rest were like. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so A Quiet Place Day One. I know you was hot on this when we walked out. Look, we saw.
Yeah.
We did a review. We didn't manage to get it up. But looking back at it now, I'm pretty sure you said in that video, you looked at me and you went, this might be my favourite film of the year. Now that it's coming back to me. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think for me it's just the whole thing of like, again, Doom Part 1, Doom Part 2 together, it would be my number one this year if that was the case. But this film surprised the fuck out of me. I was not really looking forward to it just because it felt like it was just gonna take it to an action type of thing, and I was like, it's just gonna be them running about the city. It's probably gonna have loads of pacing issues. The trailers weren't great for me, at least. Obviously, this is John Krasinski's franchise. This is his baby, and he's not directing it. This is the first,
Yeah.
it's the third film in this franchise, and Krasinski isn't directing. Obviously, he's got producing credits and things like that, but it's a new director. I just was not looking forward to this film. I really wasn't.
So do you think the fact that it's really went above and beyond your expectations, why you're placing it so high? Or just because of the quality?
Well,
because the quality of the film is there. It's spectacular.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's... I think it's... for me, right, the expectation I had was, like, on the floor. It wasn't, disastrous, but it wasn't anywhere near what the film actually was.
Yeah.
It blew the roof off. It was phenomenal. I love that film. The film itself, the fact that it nailed the urban setting, that's what I love. I love the urban settings. I love these sort of like day one scenarios. That's what I love about it. A thing I like to mention whenever I've spoke about this before is Cloverfield, the first one with the shaky cam footage. It's a little jarring. I kind of get used to it, but I fucking really enjoy that film. I love that film. I'd pick that film over any of the disaster films that we get. Like, a lot of them are shite. They're entertaining to watch, don't get me wrong, but Cloverfield just took it to a level where I'm like, I really, really like this.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of, like, someone who doesn't have a accent watching this and we're just going, yeah, that was shite.
Yeah. It was shite. Yeah, no, it was a nice surprise, and again, you know, it kind of reminded me of that Cloverfield thing. Again, Cloverfield, I love the first Cloverfield film. I love the second one. The third one is fucking horrible. But, you know, again, that's the type of, if they're doing apocalypse stuff, I love day one urban setting.
Yeah.
And it just nailed it.
Okay.
And I can't lie, it hit me hard on the feels.
It hit me hard, very hard on the feels. Right. Should we get on to my number one? Come on, you know, what's the generic white boy said? Kyle, drum
What
roll.
is it? What is it?
Kyle,
What
drum
is
roll,
it?
please. Madam Web. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, joke's
you're not
too
funny.
easy.
You're not-
Joke's too easy to
You're
tell.
not funny.
I am. Actually,
It's-
Kyle, I would disagree. A lot of people find me funny, especially when they first
Is
meet
it-
me.
Is it My Spy, Eternal City?
No, it's not. It's definitely
Monkey Man.
no, which was nearly
That's
on the list.
surprising. Sorry, yeah, I'm surprised that Monkey Man wasn't actually on your list.
Yeah, I don't know why we're being suspenseful about this. It's Doom Part 2.
Yeah.
It's such a... Honestly, look, I don't know what I can say about Doom Part 2, which I haven't said already. This film is amazing. It really is the definition of a modern masterpiece. You know, that's something I'd said about Mad Max Fury Road 10 years ago when that first came out. I'm saying it about Doom Part 2 as well. One thing I will say is Furiosa nearly on my list. I know you didn't like it.
I had a feeling it wouldn't be
But
on your list.
yeah, look, there's just other things that have shined more than Furiosa this year to me. But yeah, look, Doom Part 2, you've all seen it. It made a lot of money. It's fantastic. Timothée Chalamet, I think, at least deserves an Oscar nom for this. Especially, when did this film come out? March? It's July? I'm going to spoil it. Especially after he's taken the water of life, is it? The blue... He's taken the blue juice, and he's like, I'm the Duke of Arrakis, and you all better follow me to kill the Emperor. Hell yeah. And that's how that film goes. So, anyway, yeah, Doom Part 2. So just a quick rundown of our list, Kyle. Yours, in order, please.
Yeah, so number 5, we've got Boy Kills World. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at number 4. Civil War at number 3. Doom Part 2 as my 2. And number 1, A Quiet Place, Day 1.
And alright for my top five of the year so far. Boy Kills World at number 5. The Fall Guy at number 4. Quiet Place Day 1 at number 3. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at number 2. And Doom Part 2 at number 1. So, yeah. Right.
Let us know what your top 5 are in the comments, if you will. It'd be interesting to see. You know,
let us
feel free to give us,
you know, your top 5 for the rest of the year that you haven't seen yet. Rank them already. If you get ahead of it, then you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it later in the year.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. Right. Wow, wasn't that a great video? Would you agree, Kyle?
Yes, you should definitely give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed.
We are now late night TV talk show hosts who say subscribe to our channel after video because we are cool.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's kind of what we're doing, aren't we?
Mate, just commit to it.
Oh, no.
But don't commit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right, thanks for watching.
Yeah.